You're live.
Carol, you're on mute.
You're on mute.
There you
Good
go.
morning. It's 10:32, and I'd like to call the February 10th, 2022 meeting of the Lackawanna County Regional Planning Commission to order. And we'll take roll call. Okay, just 1 minute. Excuse me. Sorry about this. Okay, so we have Harry Lindsay.
Here.
Cindy Campbell,
Present.
Chet Murley,
Present.
Jerry Carey, Rosemary, she's absent.
No, present.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Rose is here. Jerry's absent.
Oh, Jerry's absent. Okay.
Yes.
Rosemary Broderick,
Present.
Tony Grisanti,
Tony couldn't make it,
and John Pocius.
who said he was going to be on, but he's not on yet. So,
Okay. And myself.
right.
Okay. And let's see. We sent the meeting minutes for the January 13th, 22 meeting distributed by email to the board. Are there any corrections or additions or deletions to the document? Seeing none, I'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes as distributed.
So moved. This is Rose.
Hi, Rose. Thank you.
Second.
And a second.
Second.
Okay. All right. And Harry, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and just before we move on to the bills, Carol, I just want to point out that we did not receive any requests from the public for the link for the meeting. So,
Okay. Okay, moving forward then, we could go to the bills. Okay.
if anybody has any questions on page 2, the bills were just our APA dues for the Planning Commission itself. Bob Kenny, our new planner, these are his dues for APA. And just our payment on the zoning and planning report and 2 ads in the Scranton Times for these meetings, for the MPO meeting.
Carol, I move to accept the bills, to approve the bills.
Okay, in a second.
Second, Chet Murley.
Okay. And all who approve?
Aye.
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 Any noes? Okay. All right, and moving to correspondence.
Okay, we had 4 letters go out last month. The first one on the list is from Bob to Pat McLean of Ruther Bowen. We had a subdivision last month, Coslow and Fell Township. I don't know if you remember, it was a large tract being subdivided in 2, and it was all floodplain and wetlands, and it was the private easement off the private road kind of thing. And we didn't really know what they were doing. They did respond to our comments saying that there's no plans for development. They're going to be transferred to adjacent owners. They did address the surveyor seal and the zoning information and the HOP note. So Bob sent the letter back saying that we're okay with it and we recommend approval of it now. The other 3 are regarding grants, support letters. One's to Olive and Borough for a DCNR grant for improvements to Joseph Wargo Park. Jessup Borough for a hazard mitigation grant, and we just had to acknowledge that it didn't adversely affect any low income or minority people in the area. And another one from Bob to Archibald, same thing, a DCNR grant for improvements to the Pike Street Park. And then we have the 3 Act 67, 68 reviews that Bob did as well.
All right. And now we move to old business.
Okay. Transportation planning. Okay, so we did get reimbursement on the, we did get final payment for the bike study from DCNR. And we did get the 50% reimbursement from Luzerne County, so that project is closed out. Since the agenda went out, we've also gotten 50% reimbursement from Luzerne County for the comprehensive plan as well. So that project is now officially closed out. Second item, Colts. I know Harry, you may be familiar with Colts is entitled to transit planning and tip funds out of the UPWP. They have not billed us since 2017. They have a new finance director there, a new director. They're interested in getting involved with that again. So we have to go back and we have to come up with a new contract. It'll be retroactive back to July 1st for the 21-22 year. So we have to work on that, and hopefully we'll be able to start, they'll be doing some planning for us and we'll be able to reimburse them. Under system planning, myself, Brenda, Bob, we participated in the virtual MPO, the quarterly meeting of the coordinating committee and the tech committee. The UPWP was approved for 2022 to 24. They elected new chairs and vice chairs for both committees. They did approve the 2022 safety target setting that was provided by the Commonwealth. Went over some winter projects. Aaron Whitney from the chamber did a presentation on getting the Valley View Business Park Road on the tip. They're looking to extend it. There's a tunnel under the Casey Highway, if anybody's familiar. They're looking to extend the road under the tunnel to come out at the PEI Power Park in Archibald. There were some different options there because the tunnel's not wide enough for two-way traffic. So they were either going to have to extend it under the tunnel with the traffic light, alternating the traffic, or expand the tunnel, or put a whole new road out to Salem Road. So the choice that they picked, of course, was the cheapest one, which was $14 million for the alternating, under the tunnel. The MPO did not take any action on it. They just, basically listened, and when we revise the tip now coming up, it'll be under discussion at that point. I actually did the Mtf Project Reviews. That's the multimodal transportation grants. We had two in Lackawanna County. One was Springbrook Township for Aston Mountain Road repaving, and the other one was for the Mid-Valley Drive from Oliphant Borough, repaving and sidewalks and bus shelters. So that one really was a good grant application, I thought. We just updated on the bike study, the PennDOT Connects. We discussed changing the bylaws, discussed the Eastern Freight Study, which is a bunch of MPOs in the eastern part of the state. Our Lehigh Valley's taking the lead. We're doing a freight study. Bob and I attended the NEPA Moves. Again, that was a Zoom meeting. That was my first involvement with NEPA Moves. They really were kind of not active the last couple of years because of COVID. So that was interesting. They did a discussion on equity with transportation and getting to medical facilities. So that was very interesting. I participated in the tip update, which again, just outlined the schedule for updating the tip. And then Bob and myself participated in the MPO meeting with the PennDOT Program Center. And again, just to go over our MPO program with central office in Harrisburg. So that's it for transportation. Anybody have any questions on transportation before we move on, or?
Did you see where our new senator was elected to the Transportation Commission, the Transportation Committee in Harrisburg? I don't know if anyone saw that.
Is that Marty Flynn?
Marty Flynn.
Okay. Okay.
So I mean, if do we have any discussions with him on any of these issues at any time? Or does he come to the meetings or anything like that?
He hasn't been, no.
Yeah.
We did have a meeting with Senator Casey, but that was for the job in the Infrastructure Act that they just passed. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. I just didn't know if anybody else knew that, but I thought that was interesting. Thank you. And how about Scranton Abington Planning Association?
I haven't heard no activity. I did speak with Larry West and Don King yesterday, and it's a little bit of confusion going on. They thought it was going to be on the February 8th council meeting for the first introduction, but it wasn't. So they're not quite sure. The legal department's handling that, so they were going to just check and see. So hopefully, you know, they're still moving on, but you know, it's a little bit later than we thought.
And any word from Dunmore at all, or?
I think Dunmore is waiting for Scranton.
Okay,
Yeah, so Mary Liz, kind of just give us the time frame, because they have to advertise, and then is it 2 readings, and
They have to
like
hold
how
the
far
public,
out?
they have to advertise for the public hearing, which I haven't seen. So I don't think they've had the public hearing yet. So once they have the public hearing, then they have to do 3 readings. So
Okay.
we're looking at least four different, you know, meetings that they're going to have to do this.
This is council, right? Because planning commission
Council,
done.
yes, planning has recommended it on to council, yes.
And they have 2, how many meetings do they have a month? Is
They
it
have
4?
every week. Yeah,
Yeah, so, okay.
so it could be done in a month, yeah. It would be a month's worth of meetings. But the advertising, I mean, according to the MPC, it has to be, you know, no less than 30 days, no, I'm sorry, no more than 30 days, no less than 7 from the hearing. So they still got to meet that advertising window as well. So that at this point, it's definitely going into March.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and the Scranton, New York passenger rail resumption, I know the commissioners passed a resolution. If Brenda wants to, you know, talk about this, you've asked to offer support for the project, send it to the governor, to the Department of Transportation. So that did pass, right, Brenda?
No, it's on the next meeting.
Oh, okay,
So
so,
that's the 16th, I believe it is, next Wednesday.
oh, all right, I was thinking it was the last, that's right, you're right, I have here February 16th. I was thinking it was this past week. My dates are,
Yeah, I had the work session, so I went over it with them at the work session this week.
okay,
And next week it'll be on the agenda for the commissioners meeting. And they will be passing the resolution in support of the passenger rail.
and that's for the Amtrak study and the project as in, you know, as a whole.
Correct.
Yep. Okay, anybody have any questions? We'll move to hazard mitigation. I did get the resolution from Old Forge. Hallelujah. I sent that, I sent that to FEMA. Hopefully we're going to hear back from them shortly. We could put the project to rest before we move on to the next update, which we submitted that grant application. I did hear back from FEMA. Ernie Zabo was quite happy. They got 37 out of the 67 counties to apply for the funding. He said there were no issues with any of the applications. Hallelujah as well. They're going to be putting a packet together to send to FEMA by the end of March. And then he had no idea when we'd hear back from FEMA, but they were hoping it would be toward the end of this year. And then we could start our process for the next 5-year update. But at least this time we got COVID funding. There's no local match. And we were able to ask for a little bit more money to do some more studies as well.
Now, Liz, what's the benefit of the communities adopting?
The benefit is that they don't have to do their own plan. If they don't sign on to the county plan and participate in the county plan, they have to do their own, which could be quite, you know, expensive. So we've never had a problem getting all 40 municipalities to sign on to this. The only issue with Old Forge this time, unfortunately, is that FEMA really wanted everybody to participate, and there were 4 questionnaires that had to be filled out. And we had one in-person meeting, and then COVID hit, and then we had the second one virtually. They did come to one meeting, but that's all they did. And they didn't fill out any of their questionnaires or anything. So FEMA said, you didn't participate. So they had to go back and redo all their paperwork, and we had to resubmit it, have the plan amended to include their questionnaires. So everything is good now.
What if the community doesn't prepare a plan?
Then they now qualify for disaster funding.
Right.
So that's the real carrot.
Yep,
You gotta have a plan done so you qualify for disaster funding.
right.
Good, okay.
Yep.
That's a nice carrot.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
And for
thank you.
the minimal amount of work they have to do for it, it's definitely worth it.
Couple of questions.
county to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And Mary Liz, thank you for all of your efforts for helping Old Forge. I know we were back and forth, so
Yep.
I'm sure that they appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, John Pocius, I finally got here. I got a call right when the meeting was starting. I had to take it. So I'm here. So let the record show I'm here, at least halfway here, partially here. So thank you.
Okay, moving on, the Chesapeake Bay, the county action plan that was accepted and approved by DEP. Actually getting some funding now to implement the plan. Again, this is all through the Conservation District. We're on the steering committee, but they're handling all the paperwork for this. The 3 counties involved in this were Susquehanna, Lackawanna, and Luzerne. The plan was done with the 3 counties, and they did get $100,000 for a coordinator. The 3 counties did agree that Larson Design Group, which actually did the plan, would be best to stay on as the coordinator. So they're going to be coordinating all of these projects coming up. Lackawanna County did get $219,000 for 4 projects, riparian buffers, soil health programs, agricultural BMPs. And they did get an additional $30,000 to do a farm visits and to document the BMPs that are currently going on the farms and entered into a statewide database. So we have a plan that's actually not sitting on a shelf. It's actually being implemented. So that's good. And speaking of plans and sitting on shelves, I just wanted to pass on again, we're hoping to get the bike study, start looking at that and getting some discussion on how to implement that. And I know Bob is going to be involved with that. Bob is our avid bike rider. And so hopefully in the next month or 2, we're going to coordinate something with Luzerne County and the cities of Wilkes-Barre and Scranton to hopefully start talking about that. And that is it for old business.
So you move on to new business.
Yeah, no questions on old business, we can move on. Okay, new business and under development reviews. I'm happy to say that Bob actually did all of these. The first couple I actually signed because it was before his official start date as a full-time employee. But Bob did do all these and he's doing a great job, an absolutely great job. I'm thrilled to have him here. But the first one we want to talk about is on page 7, Lands of Serace in Scott Township. This is a private road that already serves 3 dwellings. The subdivision ordinance in Scott Township only allows 2 dwellings on a private road. So to start off with, they're already 1 over what the ordinance requires. They are now, the Seraces are now trying to subdivide their property into 3 more lots plus the lot that's currently there. Question on one of the lots did not meet the minimum width or road frontage requirements for the ordinance. And again, now it's going to be 7 dwellings on a private road. So we withheld that recommendation until we get a further explanation as to why they're doing this, because clearly it doesn't conform to their ordinance. Page 11. Riverfront Sports, and maybe John can actually give us a little bit of insight on this, but the issue we have at Riverfront Sports, they're putting a 59,000 square foot addition onto the current 87,000 square foot facility. Access getting in and out of there right now is already an issue, and they have a lease signed with the adjacent medical facility to use their shared parking. But within the lease, it states that they can't do any improvements to the parking. And if you're familiar with that, there's kind of like that big dirt area between the medical facility and Riverfront, and they were going to use that for parking, but there was no mention of doing any improvements or being allowed to do any improvements. Also, part of the building was in a floodplain, and we just make note of that. So John, do you have any idea what's going on with that?
Well, I know, I think we got a submission in, but the problem is, we're day-to-day as the city engineer, we weren't renewed. So I don't know where Riley Associates will be the new city engineer. It's working its way through council. The best case, maybe this month, and they'd start them on March 1st. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I reviewed and we approved was the lot consolidation plan, because that was, I had a few minor comments. We approved that at our last meeting. I really don't have an update. I don't even know if we got into the review yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's officially even accepted by the commission yet. So I can't really tell you, but you got valid comments there.
Yeah, yeah. And we did get the lot consolidation as well, but that was the proverbial putting the cart before the horse. We got the land development first and then the lot consolidation a week
You
later.
recommended approval too, right?
We recommended approval of the lot consolidation, but we withheld on the land development until they addressed the parking issue there.
Yeah. And you'd have to, whoever reviews this is going to have to see what was in the original HOP to see if there's any kind of modifications have to be done to the driveways there and the light timings or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
it's kind of, it's kind of a little complicated as you get into it.
Right.
So
Mary Liz, that one that's Serace,
Yes.
require the planning commission to grant them a waiver? Or would it require the township supervisors to
They think they would need a waiver from the supervisors for the Saldo requirement, which says no more than 2 dwellings. But the one lot that doesn't meet the lot width, that would be a zoning issue. So that would have to be a
that would
zoning
require a
hearing board.
variance.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So they do
I
have
mean,
to
the lot
supervise.
is an acre,
Mhm.
but it's like maybe 50 foot wide and like narrow. So what they're even attempting to put something on there, I don't know.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Okay, next one on page 27. And this is just an FYI. This is lands of GMMM in North Abington Township. This was submitted back to North Abington in the fall. Never sent it here.
Oh,
The engineers came in to get it recorded. Well, guess what? We had no record of it. So the township did send us a signed copy for us to review with the review fee. However, they're over the 90 days already for the recording. So I don't know where this is going. They're going to have to go back and re-sign it. So we basically just, told them, yeah, you shouldn't have done it until you sent it here. And now they're going to have to re-sign it anyhow because of the 90-day limit.
because their signatures are over 90 days old.
Yes, they signed them on October 9th, I believe.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. This happens every once in a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of happens where the townships require you to submit all the plans and then they make the distribution. Like a lot of them say, no, you just take them around. We don't want to be bothered. And it kind of works better if you can like drop them off at the county, like the engineer or the surveyor, and then take them to the township and so on and so forth. This happens usually when the township likes to take charge and they hold it and then they find out they sign them and oops, no county.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the other way around. The developer doesn't drop off the plans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they may have said, oh, by the way, take it to the county and signed it and never,
Yes.
never followed up on it. I mean, technically they shouldn't be, when it gets to the governing body, they should be looking for the county review letter before they approve it.
It's always a comment when I reviewed stuff, just to make them aware that, did they submit? I don't know. Like when I get my packet, I know who's in there, but I don't know until that time. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's always a comment of mine,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the municipalities are definitely 100% better than they've been in the past. I mean, they all are aware that it needs to come here. Once in a while, one will fall through the cracks, and obviously, either they told the developer to send it here and he never did. They didn't follow up or, you know, whatever, but this one went through the cracks, but not any issues with it. It's just that now at this point, it's over the 90 days. So they're going to have to go back and get it re-signed by the township as well.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay, and page 36. This is a zoning map amendment for Mayfield. I don't know if you've been reading about this in the newspaper. The Meredith Street exit off of the Casey Highway. If you go off the exit to the right, they're building these are going to be three about between 500,000 and 800,000 square foot warehouses. They're now moving north from the Mid Valley, moving towards Carbondale now. On the right side of the exit ramp, they're building one of the warehouses. It's going to actually be half in Carbondale Township, half in Mayfield. To the left, when you turn left there to go down Meredith Street, you know, there's two large culm banks on either side there. On the one side is Mayfield. They're going to build a warehouse there. The other side is Carbondale Township. They're going to build a warehouse there. So there's going to be one each in each municipality. And then the third one is going to be split between the two municipalities. Carbondale Township, actually, we reviewed an amendment a month or two ago, adding warehouses to that IAC zone where that's located. Now it made sense why they were doing it, because now Mayfield came in to rezone the portion that's on the right side of the Casey Highway from conservation to manufacturing. And it's just an extension of the manufacturing zone because on the other side of the Casey is manufacturing in Mayfield. So we didn't have an issue with this. The only issue we had was they sent it to us last week and told us the hearing was February 9th, yesterday. And I said, well, you got to give us 90 days to review this. I said, we're not meeting until the 10th. You can't really do anything until you give us at least the 30 days. So they have rescheduled their public hearing and their adoption meeting to February 28th.
Actually, I think they actually had the public meeting, but it was just for input. And
Yeah, I think because they had
continued,
already advertised for it. So they had to
Right.
reschedule another one, right?
and they collected input and they continued the meeting.
Yep. Okay, and just the last one, just real quick. This was an entire saldo rewrite for Troop Borough, and I just want to give a heads up to Bob. Bob did this all by himself, and he just did an awesome job. So he knew exactly what to be looking for, and you know, and he puts a lot of time into looking for typos and, you know, grammatical errors, and I just really appreciate him.
Hey, Mary Liz, is Bob on the call?
He is.
Thank
Well,
you,
Bob. Welcome aboard and thank you for all of your good work.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob.
And that is it for new business. Does anybody
Mary
have any
Liz,
questions? I
Mary
think we
Liz,
have to, go ahead.
I have a question.
Sure.
Go back to page 21, Lanza Klaus.
Okay.
The property's on Wheeler Avenue, and Bob did the review, he did a good review, but is it on the SR portion of Wheeler? I don't know where the address is. Would it be covered? Would we need an HOP note on there? Bob, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it was on the, yeah. Oh, yeah, and it is up top where it says other agencies that may require PennDOT.
yeah, but a lot of times you guys put, I don't know, we make them put that note on there that it's on a
Yes.
state road and any driveways or anything will require a permit. I mean,
Okay.
we'll catch them at this end if I get that soon enough, you know?
So the note wasn't on the plan? We'll have to go back and double check.
I don't know. I didn't see it, but it wasn't a
Yeah.
comment. You know, maybe it was on the plan.
It
I'm not
may have
sure.
been on there. Was it Bob Mendola? Bob's usually, oh no, was it Bob?
Yeah, it was Bob.
Yeah,
I've been
it's
out
kinda
there,
like
Bob, to
what we-
get the note on the plan. It's like
Yeah.
every time I got to get him to put the note on. But now, I
Yeah.
mean, he might be doing it now. Matt might be doing it. So
He may be doing it. We'll have to go back and check.
that's all.
Yep.
Well, welcome aboard, Bob.
Well, thank you. And yeah, I can double check that.
Well, it is in your comments. You do have PennDOT highway occupancy permit. You do have it in your comments from Lackawanna County.
Right. It's listed as an agency, right?
Yeah, but if they're not doing nothing with the lot, if they're just combining like the piece of the back to put the garage on the lot or something like that, if they're not putting a new driveway in, we never make them get a permit. We just figured that it's there and let it there. Let's not open up a can of worms. But if they go for building permits or if it's commercial in nature, then they're going to have to get a highway permit, revise it, or at least document it.
Right. I think we actually Googled this property because I think there was an issue with the address. So I think we Googled it just to make sure it was the right area. And there's actually cars parked in the front yard. They kind of just use their front yard as a parking lot, basically.
Yeah. Wheeler Avenue is it's only like about 20 some feet curb to curb there. And it's just about 2 lanes. And we looked at that one time for no parking signs, and it really didn't make any sense because it is a state road, and with it has a striped center line. You know what I'm trying to say? A double yellow.
Mhm.
So if somebody does park there, they're actually obstructing a lane, so they could be ticketed for obstruction or even towed under the vehicle code. So we decided, why give everybody agit up there and put all these no parking signs up? They're going to get knocked down anyway with the snow plow. So we just figured let it go, but it is very narrow there.
Right. Yeah. So they're parking out in the yard. Well, I think it was a paved yard. I don't even think it was grass. It was like dirt or pavement anyhow.
And our zoning ordinance says you can't have a driveway that just comes up to your house without a garage. You know what I'm saying? It's people that pave their front yards to park behind the sidewalk is actually a zoning violation. I don't know if that's still in the SAPA.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if you went over this, Mary Liz. I'm sorry for being late, but I had a call. I had to stay on. And the Planning Commission did recommend it to the council at the meeting we held on Donnie did do a formal resolution to be signed by the chairman to send the council. So Scranton, we're one step closer, Mary Liz,
Yeah, we were just, I was talking to Don yesterday and he thought they were going to introduce it on the 8th of, actually last Tuesday or this current Tuesday. But it wasn't, but I haven't seen any advertising yet for public hearing or any of that. So I don't know what
well, once the way the council works is once they introduce it, then they'll set the public hearing.
Okay.
That's the way they do it. And then before they take their second reading, the public hearing will be after the second reading, then they'll table it till after the public meeting, and then they'll wait the appropriate number of days and, do the final passage.
Okay.
We did have,
Okay, so that's what Larry and Don, Larry West was talking to him as well. That's what they meant by they were going to introduce it. Then they would set the public hearing. Is what
yes, that's how it works for
but
my old
they
council.
didn't do it, I guess. Yeah. So
Yeah.
hopefully next week.
There was a couple of citizens there that did come in live, and they were from Greenridge, and they really didn't like the bed and breakfast thing there or the other thing. And so basically, Donnie and I just kind of like encouraged them, like they wanted the commission to table it, and we wanted to move it ahead. And we told them they should go to council and, they have more time to review it. And if they have any questions, maybe council will make the amendment or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, but we got it moved out of the commission's hands, which was good.
Right. Okay, so that's it for new business. And I believe, Carol, we need motions to approve the developments.
Okay, I'd like to ask for a motion to recommend approval of the reviews for February.
I'll make that motion, Carol.
Okay, second.
Second, Chet.
Thank you, Chet. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, I didn't see any Labellas this month, so that's why I made the motion.
Yeah.
Okay. Other business?
Yeah, other business, I just want to throw out there. I know, Cindy, you probably got the email from Peter this morning as well. March 25th, the Northeast Section Council for the Pennsylvania Planning is having a zoning workshop down at NEPA. We do this every year. It's an update on the land use laws, the cases for, the past year through Commonwealth Court. After the workshop, we're having a luncheon and we're going to honor Steve at the luncheon. So Peter had wanted me to extend this invitation to the board. If anybody would like to come down, it'd be about 11:30 for the luncheon and the honoring of Steve. So if anybody wants to come, you're welcome to join us.
And what is the date again?
March 25th. It's a Friday.
Very good. And the time?
The luncheon starts at 11:30.
11:30. And again, one more time, where is it, please?
NEPA Alliance. It's on Oak Street in Pittston.
Oh, that's great. Very nice. Thank you.
Just let Mary Liz know, because Steve will have, or Peter will have to get a count for the lunch.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll have another meeting before that, so you can remind us again.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll
It's
have a
coming.
better idea if you could make it or not, and then we'll go from there.
Very good.
Sounds great.
Great.
Okay.
And I guess that's it, Carol, unless somebody else has other business.
I have some unofficial business. I lost your cell phone contact on my phone. Would you call me after the meeting so I can reestablish it? No?
Whose cell phone are you looking for? Mine? or-
Harry's.
Oh, Harry's. Okay.
I was looking because I couldn't get in the meeting. It said somebody will let you in, and I was going to call Harry or text him and say, Harry, tell him to let me in. You know what I mean? And I lost the contact because we were just conversing at the beginning of the month, and it just,
Yeah.
so I had your number, Harry, but I lost it. So could you call me and then we could kind of do it over again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Mr.
If
Chairman.
that's all right. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, there we have it. And thank you all very much. And we'll see you at the next meeting.
Thank
Thank
you.
Okay,
you very
sounds
much.
good, Carol.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Nice job, Carol. Way to
Very
go.
good.
Nice
Thank you
job.
very much.